Hello everyone, you're welcome to this video. This is Emmanuel Kadri of Breaking to Tech, and in this video we are going to be talking about combining conditional statements, still in the series of videos under this same topic called the conditional branching in Python programming. Alright, so in this video I want to show you how you can use the two keywords and or to combine conditional statements in Python programming. But first, you must take note of the fact that the and keyword, and keyword, is a logical operator in Python. And when you say logical operator, it's just for those of you who know about logical programming or even this logic in mathematics, it's just used to compare the truth or the otherwise of events. Okay, is it true? Is it true or false? This one is the father of this, true or false? This one is the mother of this, is it true or false? All those true or false kind of comparison of events. Okay, we call them logic. So in programming, any kind of operator that aids the ideology of logic, okay, is called a logical operator. The ideology of logic is just to determine whether something is true or something is not true. You understand? So I'm not going to go into the mathematical details, but for those of you who did logic in further mathematics or additional mathematics, you will really understand what I'm trying to say. Well, in programming generally, logic is used to compare two operands to determine whether the operation between the two of them is true or not under the influence of an operator. And so the two operators that we are considering in this topic, we are considering in this discussion, is the and the or operator. Well, the and operator, okay, or the and keyword is a logical operator in Python which returns true. That is, it gives out the value true, it displays true, or it returns true in the underground, okay, as a value if both conditions that surrounds it are true. Otherwise, it returns false. Okay, and then on the other side, with the or logical operator, in his own case, it returns true as a value if any of the two conditions it combines are true. Okay, so the only condition or the only situation where it returns false is when both conditions it combines are not true. Okay, I'm just going to give you a little example just to show you how it works. If I say, let me just say x is equal to 5, y is equal to 7, and let me just say z is equal to 10. Okay, now if I say something like print, let me just use this as a general example. Okay, so if I say print x is greater than 5, you know very well, okay, sorry, x is greater than y. All right, you know that x is definitely not greater than y. Okay, and then if you run this program, I've not brought in this and or yet. I just want to show you how values can be returned as true or false. So the true or false values are called Boolean. They are called Boolean values. Okay. All right. So if you run this program, if you run this code, it tells you false because x is not greater than y. That is to say, 5 is not greater than 7. Do you understand? So if I say print, let me put it like print x is less than y. Okay. Oh, sorry. Print x is less than y, and I run this code, you would have it as true. Why? Because 5 is truly less than 7. So on the other hand, if I say print y is less than z, and I run it, okay, yeah, you're going to find it as true because y is truly less than z. Okay. All right. So well, in the Western world they call it z, but yeah, in this Africa we call it z. Anyway, so y is less than z. Okay. So now, good. So if I wish to combine these two, okay, using an if statement, then I want to put a command to it. So if I want to specify a condition using the AND operator, then okay, let me just do this first. Let me say print, so you can just understand this. Print x is less than y and y is less than z. Okay. All right. So I know by now you should know what should come here based on this explanation I kept here, that the AND keyword is a logical operator in Python which returns true. That is, it gives true as a result, okay, only if both conditions are actually true, otherwise it returns false. So this condition, okay, from line 11 and line 12, from the outcome of this, we know that line 11 and line 12 are both true. Okay, so definitely if you put the AND in between, the AND keyword in between these two conditions, because they are both true, the results will be true. So when you run it, let's see, yes, it's also true, as you can see here. Okay, because the two conditions are actually true. All right, so let's see how the AND operator works. Let me just let me do this. Hold on for me. Okay. So I'm going to put this. I'm just going to put this. Okay. Cut this and maybe just put it here. All right. And remove the one here. Okay, good. So I have just given a note on both. Okay, so let me just say combining conditional statements using the and or keyword. I think that works fine. So I can just put all the examples in one place. Okay, good. So as you can see here, let me just pick one true condition and one false condition so I can use it to explain this. So we have the print, x being greater than y. And I say, or that x is definitely not greater than y. Okay, then I can say, or y is less than z. We know this one is actually true. Okay, so if you run this line 18, you are going to get true as the result because at least one of the two conditions are true. One of the two conditions is true. So this one is not true, but this one is true. So because one of them is true, so you are going to get the result true. But for this AND keyword, both conditions must be true. If any one of them is not true, the result is false. Alright, so it returns false if any one of them is not true. So let's see how it goes with this. Let's just have another example, a case where we get false results. So let's say print, let's see, this same statement, this same one, if I repeat it, let me just do this. If I repeat this and I drop it here, but instead of using or, I use and, okay, and then I run it. So running this program, the result is going to be false because the AND statement works only if both conditions around it are true. But because these two conditions are not, one of them is not true, so it will not work. But if it had been or that I used, if at least one of them is true, it works. It will be true. But for the AND, both sides must be true, otherwise it returns false. Alright, so as for or now, this or can only return false if and only if both sides are actually false. So if I say x is greater than y, which is false, and I say z is less than, or let me say y, okay, is greater than z. Okay, so if I say x is greater than y, or y is greater than z, both of them are false. Alright, so if I run the program, then it will return false, just because both conditions are false and it is an or. Okay, and so that's just how it works. So putting in all of this into, like, using this along with the conditional statements. Okay, so let's put if. So if we say, okay, let me say using this, with conditional statements. Okay, so let's say, let's bring this in. So let's say we have it like if, let me just pick any of this. Okay, good. So I'll just say if, but this time you are not going to put this. All right, so you're not going to put the bracket. Just say if x is less than y and y is less than z, which means since you are using and, it means these two conditions must be true. So if x is less than y and y is less than z, then do this for me. So you can say print, you open a bracket and say, and just put something like both conditions are true. You can just keep something like that, and then, so if you run this program, let me just separate this using an empty print statement. So there will be a space between the other results and this new one. Okay, so you run it, and then you have this, both conditions are true. Reason being that both conditions are true, okay, and then whatever is it that you ask Python to do, because the two conditions are both here, because the two conditions specified are true, using the AND statement, the AND keyword rather. So because both conditions are true, whatever you ask Python to do afterwards, after the if condition, it will do it for you, because both conditions are true. You can type anything here. You can type anything you like here. You can just say, okay, Mr. Ima is great. Okay, fine. In as much as both conditions are true, it will display it for you. Anything you ask it to do, as far as both conditions are true, it will do it for you. So Mr. Emmanuel is great. Fine. Okay, so, but if the conditions, and if you use the or statement, so if you use or here, since this one is true, this one is true, it will still work, okay? But if both conditions are not true, then the or will not work. And then it's just as simple as that. You can just play around with can play around with different examples as you wish. Okay, so it's not, you don't have to waste time over this. You can just play around with anything, just try to create stuff yourself about the over this, and then you'll find, well, let's just play with one more example. Let's say, let's just have this example, like, okay, maybe we want to use if else and all that. Okay, you can just put it there, if a condition, if, and then you put it there. If that one is not true, you provide an alternative route using the else. If that doesn't work, if the outcome is not true, then you put the else and then all that. So every other thing that you've been doing since before this topic, you can still do it with this. Okay, all you just need to do is to produce something that is true, and then provide a condition that makes it that provide a command that it will execute, provided that the condition is true, and that is all. So I don't need to start doing more examples over this, except we want to just have a creative, maybe we want to run a task based on this. All right, so, and that's that as per that. So let's see if we can just come up with a task, and I'm going to just do that in the next video. All right, so with what you've learned here, play around with a whole lot of stuffs. Just know that if something is true, it will do the command that you want it to do. And then if something is not true, it will not execute the command, but then it will look out for an alternative statement. So if you put the alternative using the elif, then fine. If you don't put an alternative, nothing will just happen. The program ends there and it just moves on with life. Okay, so that's just how it works. If you have any question, you can always reach out to me. All right, see you in the next video. Bye.